Welcome to the Church of Love, a podcast hosted by myself, Jyoti, along with co-hosts Swamini Shravananda Saraswati and Reverend Rachel Schwab. The show is produced by Freedom Media, LLC. Church of Love will explore the changing dynamic of spirituality worldwide and the common belief that God is, in no matter what shape he, she, it takes, the essence of love. We hope to remind you that you are love and that you are loved. So sit back, relax, and join us at the Church of Love.
This week on Church of Love, we are joined by the Venerable Bhante Sujatha, the loving kindness monk, to discuss love in action. Bhante Sujatha, a Buddhist monk for more than 30 years, is singularly focused on adding more love in the world. Bhante teaches loving kindness meditation to people around the globe for all those seeking the art of happiness and contentment. His approach to meditation is deep and simple, bringing core Buddhist teachings to everyone in a way that is practical and easy to understand. A joyful, radiant, funny, and wildly energetic monk, Bhante is originally from Sri Lanka and is the head monk abbot of the Blue Lotus Buddhist Temple and Meditation Center in Woodstock, Illinois. Today, he leads more than 380 meditations a year all around the globe. Bhante, thank you so much for being here. Bhante, I am so mindfully joyful.
Excited.
I'm mindfully excited, yes, to have you here joining us. And your love and action is very evident, especially in my own family, because we have all been drawn to your message of love and kindness and connected to Woodstock, Illinois, to where I live here in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and never thought that we would have a connection that way. And so I know that it's meant to be, and I know that that's your love in action. And I really would like to start off by asking you, what does the Buddha say about love in action? And why is this message so important for us in this time?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Actually, thank you so much, Rachel, asking this question. Thank you so much for having me. So this podcast, the word we are using in Pali language, in the Buddhist language, we call the metta. It is translated as loving kindness or loving friendliness. So when we're talking about the loving kindness, what we are encouraging people always, what I'm telling always to people, world is too big for me to focus, but my inner world is a perfect size. Now think about what is happening around the world right now with this pandemic and all the problems we have in the world. Sometimes it is overwhelmed and emotionally exhausted and tired for all of us, but still you cannot take care of the whole world. So I'm always telling and reminding people, if you can taking care of yourself, that's the best world you can taking care of. So you can put all your energy and time to taking care of your world. So that's what I did after I became a monk age 11. Until now, when I get that deeper message, but this is very simple message, same time it is profound and the deep teaching of the Buddha. So when I get this self-loving kindness message from the Buddhist teaching, I really focus on that part. One day I realize emotionally, sometimes I'm overwhelmed and drained because I'm talking to people, listen to their stories. Most of the time they are sharing their negative, painful stories with me. I realize one day, end of the day, I feel my head is heavy because I'm taking everything into my life. Then I had some sleeping issues and I'm so worrying and I'm thinking about how I'm going to help these people. It is so painful to hear those things. Then I was thinking, if I taking everything as a burden to myself, that means I'm burning out, I'm hurting to myself. Then I was thinking, now I have teaching of the Buddha, is there any way I can figure it out, help way I can to the world, the same time focus on myself and taking care of myself? Then what I figure it out, what I learned, best thing I can do, without any difficulties, I can put 100% my time to taking care of myself and my practice, how I feel. Sometimes I call and telling people in a spiritual life, when I turning into the spiritual life, I'm so selfish. So don't misunderstand why I use that word, get attention from the people. So without taking care of myself, I cannot taking care of the world. So, if I am in trouble, if I'm sad, emotional, drained, and angry or mad, I am delivering the same message to the world. Then I thought I had to be enlightened. I had to be happy. I had to be content. I had to feel right. So whatever I do to myself, that is the gift I can give to the world. Actually, in my life here in the United States, perfectly work. Now you are the example for that. How many thousands of people I touched last 19 years here in this country. I know when people ask, even this morning somebody asked, Bhante, you are doing so well in this world with the people. How you turn your life into this kind of charismatic lifestyle? Then I said, that's my practice. That's my loving kindness practice. So when I do that every day to myself, then I had the deeper connection to the world. Then I looking at their problems mindfully, not
Looks like Bhante cut out for a moment. We'll just pause for a moment.
A mindful pause.
A mindful pause. Oh my goodness.
Excitement.
I loved how
Yeah.
you were, yeah. Oh, here we go. Bhante's coming back. Okay.
There you go.
It's not connected to audio.
Audio. Can't hear.
He has to unmute.
Unmute. Oh.
Well, while I wait for Bhante, I'll say, Rachel, I loved how at the beginning you were saying you're mindfully joyous. For those of you that don't know Bhante Sujatha, one of the things he always reminds us to do is to use the word mindfully in front of, so being mindfully excited. It's usually one that he's very, very well known. So, we don't get excited, we're mindfully excited.
So we mindfully wait.
We mindfully wait, yes.
Hello.
Yay, Bhante.
I don't know. Everything crashed down. I don't know.
Welcome back.
Okay,
Yay.
thank you. Now I use my phone. I get into the phone now.
Yeah.
And I'm very sorry for that.
That's
So,
Oh, you're fine.
okay. Then I realized when I really figuring out myself, I felt the world matters lovingly and mindfully. Then I realized I cannot solve all the problems in the world, but I do whatever I can do to help them. That's why I made that quote, world is too big for me to handle, but my inner world is perfect size. Now I do loving kindness to myself, then I'm compassionate to the world, and my compassion for the world, first I feel for their difficulties and challenges, then I'm thinking to myself how I'm going to help them without hurting to myself. So that is a big effect to the world. Then I can handle so many cases now, but end of the day, I'm not exhausted or tired or emotionally drained. I can wake up next day, I can go and work again for people. So that's how I am doing my loving kindness work.
What a wonderful answer. And it's so nice to meet you,
Thank you.
Swami Shraddhananda Saraswati, and such an honor to spend this time with you tonight. I have the next question, and actually it's two questions. The first is, can you speak a little bit about the difference between pity and compassion? And can you also speak a bit about the process of meditation? Someone who is of your stature obviously has an existing spiritual practice, well-skilled and masterful. But what about the new person? What about the one who's just trying to figure out what loving kindness even means and if it fits in their life? What should they do?
So this is what I'm always thinking. So the first part, if you are interested to come to this kind of journey or the direction, if you are wishing to go, the first thing you have to find the right person. I call it noble friendship. I call the noble friendship. You know, so I'm so grateful for my life, why I'm doing well in my life, because all the teachers, all the mentors, you know, the whoever, you know, the guided me in this journey, they are my people. You know, so therefore, in your spiritual journey, noble friendship is 100% we have to have. So one time, attendant of the Buddha, his name is Ananda, he came to the Buddha and made the statement, Buddha, I want to make this statement to you. I need your confirmation. Then Ananda said to Buddha, Buddha, this holy life exists in this world because, you know, half of this holy life exists in this world because of noble friendship, right? What do you think about that statement? Then Buddha said, Ananda, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. You know, that's why Buddha said 3 times, don't say it. Not half. Whole, you know, the full holy life exists because of the noble friendship. Now you can see why Buddha said 3 times, don't say it half. It is full. Now you can see noble friendship is very important. So what I'm suggesting new people, if you want to get into this path, first make a research, and I don't think you can make 100% comfortable with that, but follow your gut feeling and find that person. That person, when after you find that person, if it is really he or she is very noble, prepare your mind, that person will be so painful to you. That person, you know, people think noble friends are bringing so much joy and happiness to you. No, they are not bringing you so much joy and happiness to you. They are bringing you so much pain into your life. But that giving that pain, the result, it is so powerful. I call the, you know, the noble friends are the most painful people in the world. Because, you know, I have friends, I'm so noble to them, I care about them. Sometimes I'm very tough. I never let them to go and walk away from the path. I'm keep trying, but sometimes they don't like it. They hate me in that way. But after many years later, how much they appreciate. I feel the same thing in my journey. In the beginning of my journey as a young monk, I hate my teachers. Right? Why? They are always behind me, always telling me what to do, always asking me to focus, you know, always they are, you know, keep walking behind you. That is the nature of the noble friend. So if you find that kind of friend, I'm asking, your spiritual journey going well, keep that people close to your life. Okay, what is the other question?
The other question was, can you speak a little bit about the difference between pity and compassion?
So how do you define the word pity in this country?
In this country, to pity would be to view an individual as having an experience that you yourself wish to avoid. And so there might be a tendency to look down at their experience.
Look, what do you mean look down? You know, I want to understand how you understand in this country the situation.
So I think in the United States, when we talk about the word pity, we are comparing ourselves and perhaps even elevating ourselves above the other individual, trying to avoid life's discomforts. saying better you than me, but I'm sorry, it has to be you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then now you're asking what is the difference compassion and pity, right?
Yeah.
So when you have compassion, true compassion, it is unconditional. So, if you are really practicing compassion, you cannot compare this practice with something else. If you the compare with other things and other people, other people's work, that is not true compassion, that competition, competing. So for me right now, when I, that's why I asked that word, how do you understand the word pity? So when I'm trying to be compassionate to other people, whatever other people telling me about my practice or my compassion doesn't matter to me, because I think it is authentic, it is unique, and it is my practice. Now I don't say I'm better than you, but in that practice, but I am really clear about my compassion. So I have a good experience recently. I experienced, with somebody. I don't know this person because I have YouTube channel. I have different people. Susan did it too with me. Couple of people is called the Choose Loving Kindness. The different people, different countries. They're interviewing me. One of my students, she's 15 years old, grown, look like a grown woman. Because she has she's grown, and so she's doing this interview with me. She's a beautiful girl. Somebody looking at that video really insulting to me, using all the bad swearing words, kind of annoying, right? So then I send him a message. Thank you so much for your comment. It gave me so much courage to continue my work. Then he sent me another message, the very mean. Then I said, second message also awesome and wonderful. Then he sent me another message, stop your stupid thanking to me all the time. I hate you. So I said, that also a wonderful message, right? He always negative and negative and negative, like 2 weeks. I always very compassionate, accepting, not taking it personally. I was keep sending a really nice, kind message. Finally, he sent me a message. Oh my God, I cannot believe you. Then he said, you are the best monk ever. I feel embarrassed myself now. I use all the bad words to, say mean things about you, but you didn't take anything as a personal problem. Then I said, thank you, that's a great comment too, but still that's not my problem. I said, that's not my problem. Then he said, I really love you. I really like your talks. I'm listening to all the YouTube talks now. Please consider me as your student. And then I said, okay, this is my phone number. Usually I don't give my phone number if I don't know the people. This is my phone number. If you want to talk to me, please do. Then he said, I don't want to call you. Why? I feel so embarrassed to call you, but I keep this number as a gift. One day I will contact you in the different way, but I'm not going to telling you I'm the one swearing at you, right? So, telling this story, what I'm telling you, I kept my compassion no matter what. Because my compassion, I think it is unique. It is unique. Somebody said I'm a most unkind monk, he ever met, because whatever he was expecting, I didn't do it. So then next week he came back and apologized me. I said, nothing to do with me. You both, you are telling me I'm unkind monk. Now you are apologizing to me. That's both belong to you. It's not for me. My compassion is same. I'm stand strong, unshaken every day. That's my compassion to the world. That's how I see the compassion. I am not comparing with something else. When you are really compassionate, there's no expectations behind it.
What a wonderful, wonderful response. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the story too. Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Bhante, you have been so impactful in my life, and I have my collection of Bhante Sujatha stories that I like to share. But I'm going to take it to a Buddha story real quick. I love what you just shared, because you're talking about, in a sense, you're being a noble friend to him, and he's being a noble friend to you, right? Through that process. And I'm reminded, Matthew and I had years ago gone to Dungashwari caves, and also to Bodh Gaya in India. And for those that don't know, Dungashwari cave is where Buddha went, and he to try to understand, right? And through that process, he started to starve himself, because he was trying to let go of everything physical in the world as a means of trying to understand. And then eventually we have the beautiful story of his enlightenment in Bodh Gaya. And I guess I'm looking at you talking about this process of compassion, and you use the terms to keep going, right? Even when things are difficult, and you're going to get tired and you're going to get frustrated, but to keep going in order to find this this place of compassion. And for me, I look at your love and action, all the philanthropic work that you do, all of the teachings that you give us, even right now, by sharing your own experiences, are so vitally important, because especially in this culture, we are like the drive-through culture. We want everything really fast, and we trying to figure out how to get from right here to enlightenment. Skip all the hard work that Buddha did, right? And then just to have that zenness, and we find ourselves then in this place of pretending to be enlightened. You know, we say, I'm very zen today, and we have this inauthentic comprehension of what this means. And I'm looking at the time that we're currently in with coronavirus, and how many people around this country and around the world are really isolated right now. And I love how in the past you've talked about your meditation practice is not one you just sit down. It's what you take with you, as you've just so eloquently addressed. I'm wondering if you can talk to people about what they can do now as they're home or isolated, in order to cultivate love for themselves and others, and how they can keep on going when it's really hard. Like, what tools are available to them?
Okay, so first I want to explain this to you. And now people here in this country, I heard 60% of the world wealth in the United States. Okay, one magazine says. That means people have a lot here, but same time people have lots of problems here. So whatever people did so far to bring happiness into their life didn't work. Um, so now they are looking for alternatives. When they are looking for alternatives, now they are turning into spirituality, yoga, meditation, you know, all those things. Now it's one of them is a meditation. People come to the meditation. Then people have totally different idea about the meditation. Then people come to the temple, or they go to the retreat center, 10-day Vipassana courses, which is wonderful. People can do it. I appreciate it. Then after they do those courses and practices, then many people think it is very important to me how long I'm sitting every day on the cushion and practice meditation. You know, one man keep telling me, after doing the 10-day Vipassana retreat in front of all the people, I did 8 hours sitting. I did 8 hours sitting per day. I said, great. Everybody was so excited. And, you know, they appreciated that. Then he was, you know, no reason. He said the second time again, because now he's really looking for attention for him. I did the, you know, the 8-day, you know, the 8 hours sitting I did every day, 10 days. Then I hear the second time, I felt that he definitely tell me the third time this same statement. Now, middle of nowhere, no connection to what we talk. He said, I did 8 hours per day sitting. I gave my face to him in front of all the people. I'm very sorry. And I said, who cares your 8 hours? That's what I said to that person. Then he was so upset and looking at me, it's hurt my feelings, what you said. I said, that's my intention to hurt your feeling. I said. So then everybody started to laugh. Then I explained to him, if you did 8 hours, I'm so grateful. I'm happy for you. We appreciate it. Now you are keep telling the same thing in front of people. You are talking about your 8 hours. I felt something missing in your practice. Now you are so attached to your cushion and your 8 hours more than your practice. Now you build ego around it. That is the problem. So now my observation here in this country, Susan, so many people love to come and sit on the cushion at the temple. Then what happened to them? They attach to the cushion. They attach their own chair. One lady was crying after meditation. I was sitting in front of your left side third cushion last 5 years. Now somebody is sitting on my cushion today. I cannot meditate. She was complaining to me. Then I asked, did you bring this cushion from home? Did you buy it? Did you pay it? Then she said, no, this is my place. I was sitting last 5 years. Then I said, that means you didn't practice meditation. You attached to your cushion. That's the only thing you did. So therefore, you cannot sit on this cushion anymore. I made the rule. So now what I can see, Susan, here in this country, people have lots of people, addicts here in this country, drug addicts, alcoholic, all those addicts. Among those addicts, now one addict I call cushion addicts. In the spiritual practitioners, I call the cushion addicts. So they love to sit on the cushion hours and call meditation or chanting. Right after they get out from the meditation or cushion, they are the same annoying people. There is no big difference at all. So what I am asking, what I am doing, I sit less time now sitting on the cushion, but more time in the world. So I think when, I went to the grocery store, very rarely I go to the groceries. Yesterday I went to the grocery store. That's not my passion anyway. And so, I saw so many people waiting on the line. There was an old woman sitting and behind me and the big, the grocery, cart. Then I was kind of looking at her. I said, you can go. I have time. I can wait. You can go. She was so grateful I made that offer. Then I was thinking more than sitting on 1 hour sitting on the cushion, that is the best practice in the world. So that means my compassion, my gratitude, my kindness, and everything was there. But if, one day I was holding the door for another elderly woman. She was looking at me. She asked me, what's wrong with you? I can open the door. She was yelling at me. Then I was thinking, that's great too. But my compassion is still there because I didn't hold the door to get the appreciation from her. I did hold the door for her with my compassion practice. So I did my practice. Then I said, you did your practice. So, that's how I said, that's what I said to that other person who was yelling at. Then he said, I feel so bad about it. I said, no need to feel bad about it. And so I did my practice, you did your practice. So keep doing whatever you are believing. So that's how I see. I'm always asking people, sitting on the cushion and practice meditation is wonderful, but go and practice in the world. There are two words we have to consider. One is training, other one is practice. Training, what we are doing sitting on the cushion, that's the training. In life, we are doing practice. That's how I'm doing lots of charities. Why? I really feel my compassion is in action. That's why I call the love in action. Love is a word until you put into the practice. Otherwise, it's an empty sound. Yeah.
Bhante, I'm always amazed how, as a pastor in a church, how similar our stories are. We just have different language.
Right. I know.
We have people attached to the cushion. We have people attached to the pews.
Right. Exactly.
And they wonder why somebody's sitting in their pew. So we have a saying at church where we say worship happens in the building, church happens outside the building.
Yes.
So
See?
that's the same. It's
Yeah,
love and
same.
action. And that's what we say that constantly.
Mhm.
And you know, I have studied so many similarities between our teachers, Bhante, Christ and Buddha.
Mhm.
In fact, if anyone ever gets a chance to visit the Woodstock, Illinois temple, you will see that the building was a former church. And there is Christ in the stained glass
Mhm.
windows and Buddha in the center.
Mhm.
And in the Hebrew scriptures, the prophet Micah in chapter 6, verse 8 says, "Tell us, O Lord, what is good, but to do justice, love kindness, and to walk humbly with our God." And Buddha tells us the same, sharing words of love, equanimity, peace, kindness, and humbleness. And it's through your message, Bhante, in your Dharma talks and your meditations that encourage folks like myself
Mhm.
to seek greater understanding of all traditions. And it encourages me. And so in this world where there is a lot of negative thought and selfishness, as we talked about earlier, I try to focus on the similarities. So Bhante, the message here for our listeners, I strongly believe, is that no matter what belief system and we might follow or identify with, all beings can embrace the Buddha's words of love and action. And that is truly what I believe through what you're sharing.
Right, exactly. That's it. You summarize it, you summarize it so wonderful.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Rachel. Yeah.
I'm mindfully humble.
Right. That's good. That's good.
Bhante, thank you so much for joining us. We're so grateful. For those of you watching, you can learn more about Venerable Bhante Sujatha and order his new book, Morning Coffee with Bhante, a collection of inspirational wisdom. And you can also follow his philanthropic work as well and donate to those at bhantesujatha.org.
Thank you all so much for mindfully joining us for this amazing conversation. Venerable Bhante Sujatha brought such authentic and sincere discussion to our table. I can only imagine how the listeners must feel. Can you sense the change that is happening, the shift in spirituality, religion, and society? Has today's program inspired you to be just a little bit more aware about where you intend to bring your practice? If in fact you're looking for a new church or an alternate teaching, or to just dive deeper into what you're already doing. Or perhaps today's show has illustrated the powerfulness and the symbology of the current movement of people looking for a sacred space where they belong. It is helpful to remember spirituality is a journey, and that journey is a little bit different for each of us. So let's not judge the journey of others. Instead, we can hold the highest intention of understanding, empathy, and unity, no matter the labels we apply. Thank you for joining us for the Church of Love. Remember, you are love and you are loved. Be well.
Thank you so much, everybody. May you be well, happy, and peaceful.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you.